Ew. Ooh, I do not. I repeat, I do not like the constant changing of StreamYard. It's super annoying. Now they have this, hold on, let me see. It's just too much crap. It's so super freaking annoying. Ugh, I can't stand it. Sis, I missed you too. It's been forever since I've been live. It's been a while. With good reason. So today it's gonna be real quick. I had a conversation and they keep changing it. I don't know. It's okay, so I'll explain this all over again. So people have goals in life, and some of us with goals in life, we have standards, we have routines, we have things that we're gonna do, and we have things that we're not gonna do. So with this YouTube thing, this is a hobby for me. It still is a hobby for me, even though I'm monetized. It's a hobby for me. And maybe other people who don't have a bunch of shit going on in their real lives, they will dedicate so much time and so much effort to this app to where they want to pay for this service and display, I guess, their creativity this way. Um, I'm the opposite. I display my creativity through my content, the different things that I talk about when I do or when I was able to upload reels, the different reels that I would put up and things like that, just for humor, for fun, like to educate someone on something. So the whole paying for StreamYard, it was stupid to me. It still is. I'm just going to be honest with you. It still is. Um, when you have children, as many children as I have, when you have businesses, when you have other people that you take care of, when you have property you pay on, when you own shit, stuff like that, these are, the facts of life. These are the fundamentals of life. You pay for shit that matters. You understand what I'm saying? So, of course, you guys have heard me say this. Why am I coming on this app to have fun and do this as a hobby and it's costing me money? It becomes a bill. That is really stupid. People who are financially sound, people who are rich, people who are, well taken care of, people who are wealthy, because being rich and wealthy is two different things. But anyway, this is how they stay that way. They don't have unnecessary bills. Now, hell yeah, other people on here, go ahead and give your 40, 50, 60, 80, $90 a month for this service. And basically all you do is just talk. You have a bunch of people come up, yell, scream, and talk about shit. Sometimes I can't even keep up. You'll start talking about one thing, and then two people will come up, they'll change the subject, and then two more people will come up, and then they'll change the subject back to what it originally was. One person will come up, and then it'll go back to whatever they were talking about after the original topic, and it confuses you. It confuses you. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I do like though is that they did kind of change something with how I'm putting the comments up. Because how it was before was really annoying. So, like I said, I guess I mm, now I have to. They put me in a pickle, and now I have to actually pay for this service, because I cannot play my clips. I cannot play my intro. I cannot play my outro. That shit had me pissed off. Okay? So they finally got me. I'm I finally have to pay for this shit. It's so funny to me, like seeing people, you know, have another bill and they're not making any money off of here. Just you're paying fucking like 50, $60 a month for this service to come on here and talk about the same shit or yell and scream or what the fuck ever. And you're not making a profit off of this. And I'm not talking about people who are monetized. I'm talking about people who aren't. It just, it was so stupid to me. You know what I mean? It's still stupid to me. But at this point, now that they done messed with my damn intro and my outro, okay, I have no choice. Okay, so we're gonna get through this because all I'm gonna be doing is just talking. Um, it was like a focus group, and we were talking about different things. And right now, there are some real serious things that are happening in our country when it comes to race relations. And something was brought up, and it just was really nostalgic for me. And this is why I was like, you know what? I think I want to have a rant, and I'll take the time out of my day to do it on here, to give you guys some content, to put something, on your mind. So the conversation was about how difficult and how bad the race relations are getting between black and brown people right now, with all of these deportations and with the uh, protests that are going on, certain things that the Orange Cheeto Man has said that has rocked the brown community. We now have brown people um, coming at us like, why aren't you guys helping? Why aren't you guys stepping up? When you guys have issues, we step up, and a bunch of lies and a bunch of bullshit. And this is what fueled the conversation that I was having with this group. Um, Conversation happens everywhere, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you work. You're always going to have some type of meaningful conversation with your coworkers, with your staff, um, with the alumni, with anyone, you know what I mean, with your boss. Um, so, the type of conversations that I have um, at my place of business, it's like this. We're not having conversations like, so what did you do, last week? Or, did you barbecue? What did you put on the grill? Like, no, it's not like that. It's more so about like what's happening in the world, and you know the it's not really the immediate atmosphere. It's everyone's atmosphere. It's what's happening, period. So this conversation came up, and we started talking about different racial situations, and the O.J. Simpson trial came up, and that is a sensitive subject for me, because it is. I contribute the O.J. Simpson trial to the very first time in my life as a person, as a human, as a woman, as a black person, that I experienced racism for the first time. Um, I believe I told this story before on here, but I'll tell it again. So my frustration with my people really started because of this situation. Um, there were a lot of people who felt that OJ Simpson did commit the crime, and then there were a lot of people who felt that he didn't. More so, it was broken down by race. You know what I mean? This is my experience. I don't know what anyone else's experience is. This is just me speaking about me. Okay. I saw a lot of Caucasian people like he did it angry. And I saw a lot of black people, oh yeah, he didn't do it. This is why he got off, all this other shit. It was divided. And as time went on after his acquittal, as you know, he's deceased now. And as time went on after his acquittal, the state that I live in, the city that I live in, there was an incident with him that happened here, and he was incarcerated for a number of years for something very stupid, something very petty. And for me, it shut the case on what I always believed. Um, my city and the policing that goes on inside of my city, I lost a lot of respect for the policing here, a lot of respect that I haven't gained back. I'm just going to be honest with you. Um, when you do things like that, it makes you a candy ass. I'm just being honest. It makes you look crazy when you play with the law like that. I feel like our justice system here and law enforcement here are a joke. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I have many examples that I could give of how much of a joke it is. But this was one of the examples. If you didn't know, he was arrested because his memorabilia was stolen from him. And he basically, it was being sold out of a hotel room here. And he basically went to the hotel room after being alerted that they were there, basically selling stolen merchandise. And he had a gun. He went with a gun to get his shit back. He wanted to get his shit back. Instead of the people who took his shit being arrested, he was arrested. And he did way too many years in jail for such a petty incident. No one was shot. No one was hit with the gun. None of that shit. It was just, if I want to put you in jail for anything because I'm mad that you got off about something, was a person. So let's walk down the yellow brick road. So I was very upset with my people once I grew up because this situation happened when I was in middle school. The reason why the OJ Simpson trial was so memorable for me is because I was in middle school, and the school that I was going to, let me paint the picture for you guys. The school that I was going to, I don't know, hold on. Yeah. So the school that I was going to was a predominantly Hispanic school. It was in a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood. The ratio of children, honestly, I'm going to be so honest with you. Every child knew every child because the school was small. I remember a handful of white children. I know their names and I can count them on, I'm going to say two hands because I believe it was 6 or 7 of them. Now, when I say this, I'm telling you, it is the truth. There was 7 white children that went to my middle school. Um, Out of 100, I'm going to say 75% were Hispanic. No lie. 25% were black. And the other 5% was white and whatever other race. I think we had a Native American child there. I don't remember any Asians. Matter of fact, I'll take that back because counting, I'm counting a child as white, but that child was Asian. That child was Filipino. And I'm right? Guy was Filipino, right? Okay. So, yeah. So no, I take that back because it was weird because like his sister and him, they weren't the same thing. I don't know. Shit was weird, but okay. So let me take that back. There was maybe 5 white children, and then there were like there was a Hawaiian girl, and then there was a Native American boy. Yeah, I think that's it. And it's crazy too because keep in mind we're in middle school. We're in middle school, and you know the racial undertones of everything. That was the first time I saw a child pregnant as well. That Hawaiian girl that I just talked about and that Filipino boy that I just talked about, they both had a baby together in middle school. She got pregnant in middle school. At that time, I didn't even know what a penis looked like. So I most definitely wasn't thinking about no fucking boys. I was beating boys' asses back then. I didn't start thinking about boys honestly until I'm gonna keep it real. Till I was like a sophomore. I still was whooping niggas' asses when I was a freshman. So I was like I said, I was a tomboy. So anyway, like I wasn't thinking about like touching no guys back then. And we had a whole like little young girl and she wasn't black, okay? She wasn't Hispanic that was pregnant. So yeah, so much for racial shit. So anyway, this is the incident that happened that made the O.J. Simpson trial stand out for me in my life. So this is the school that we were going to, and most of the teachers that we had at the school were Caucasian. Um, my favorite teacher in my entire life came from this school. My English teacher was everything to me, and I know that I've spoken about this teacher before on my channel. I love me some Miss Williams. Okay, she was the wife of one of the execs of a company out here called Yesco, the company that makes all the neon lights for not just here, but in Jersey and in New York and everywhere. If you look up neon signs, you're going to see Yesco. You guys know that I got to be careful now with some of the stuff that I say. So, you guys know that she was such a beautiful, I'm sorry, not even was because she's still alive. She's such a beautiful person. And like myself and other students, we kept in contact with her all the way until we were in college. And even when we were out of college, grown as adults, like recently, we keep in contact with her because, like I said, her light was so radiant. Just one of the best people I've ever known in my life. She went through a very abusive time. And it happened in front of us, and we were so young. But yeah, I'm not going to speak on that. I don't, like I said, I don't want to get sued because that's a multi-billion-dollar company. But just know, you know what I mean? Yeah, I know. So anyway, back to what I was saying. This is where that teacher came from. This school. So the O.J. Simpson trial was going on, and for some odd reason, teachers wanted to watch it. This is like the middle of the school day. It's almost the middle of school day. This is before lunch, and they wanted to watch it. So you know how you have the little TVs that come on a cart. So this is basically what they turned on to see the verdict. And I will never forget this situation ever, and served many years getting husband really back. Yeah, girl. Just embarrassing for this city. Just embarrassing for this state. That ain't it though. It's other shit. But yeah, just it's like every time when a famous person come here, they end up getting arrested. Like this place is just ugh. So anyway, when the verdict was read, there was a teacher. She was also an English teacher. Thank God she wasn't my English teacher. She was so upset. She was so livid that she was like, I just don't want to be here right now. Fuck this. And she left a classroom full of children. She just left them. And she left the school. And even in my young age, I knew that that bitch was stupid. How do you care so much about a situation that has no effect on you to where you're messing up your money? You're messing up how you're going to take care of your family. Awesome shit that it had nothing to do with you. She was so pissed off that she walked her little white privileged ass right out the classroom and left the school and left the children there without knowing what the hell they're going to do. So my teacher, my favorite teacher, she had her class go over to her classroom and we were all in there together. You know, you can't have a certain number of children in a classroom, you know, and for a teacher to feel comfortable. So she had double the students, but she had to because the children were left by themselves. And it was what I will always remember was my favorite teacher, the science teacher, which I loved him too. And the the social studies teacher, I loved him too. And the science teacher, I loved her as well. Like I said, I was real young and it was certain things that I didn't understand. I didn't know like I didn't know really like anything about like gay women or whatever. But she was a gay woman. Um, used to wear like suits and ties and shit. But she was beautiful now. Um, my medical teacher also was like that as well. Very beautiful woman. Anyway, who cares? So, like I was saying, they all were outside of the classroom, like in a frantic. Like, did she really just do that? Yeah, she really just did that. And like, I remember the science teacher was like, "What an idiot! Like, what type? Like, how inadequate? What an idiot!" They were out there talking big shit about her. I couldn't believe that. Like, she had to be young. I don't know how old she was. I just know she was fat as fuck. But she had to be young to do something so stupid, so pathetic like that. So that trial it put a stain on me because that situation happened. And being that I was at a school that was predominantly Hispanic, it's like, what the fuck? We don't care. We don't care about that situation. But of course, there were parents that were paying attention to it. So as children, we were talking about it, and it was overwhelming at the school. Everybody was like, "Yeah, he got off. Hey, we clapping this shit." So yeah, I don't know what her class did. Maybe they did something like that. Maybe when the verdict was read, all the kids started clapping and she couldn't take that shit. You know what I'm saying? Her racism hit her. I think it's a damn shame that you're working around predominantly Hispanic and black children and you a racist piece of shit. I'm just being honest. That didn't make any sense to me. That was something that really bothered me as well about the situation. Get the water. Um, that she was obviously, you know what I'm saying, a bigot. And here she is working at my fucking school. This is also a stain that has lived on with me as to why I chose for my children not to be taught in a brick and mortar school. This is why they are homeschooled because of shit like that. You are supposed to be caring about the minds of the children that you're teaching. Instead, you're fucking worried about some coked out motherfucker that was murked by somebody. And this is where we're going to get to the point of the whole why I'm so upset with my own people. Once it died down and he was locked up for something petty, I saw a shift in the mindset of my people, of black people, where more and more of them were in agreement that he had actually did the crime. Oh yeah, we all know that he did it. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, because that situation happened to me when I was a child, when I grew up, I did my research on the shit. Another thing that made this come up was we had a conversation about an actress named Brittany Murphy. If you guys don't know who Brittany Murphy is, she played in Clueless. I forgot the name of that movie that she played in with Dakota Fanning. Um, but it I can't put up her picture so you guys know what it is. But like I said, if you know, you know. Um, good. Is it morning? Yes, still morning. Good morning, my teddy bear. How are you? I hope your day has started off lovely. So if you don't know the story about Brittany Murphy, um, basically it's some weird shit surrounding around it. She passed away in her shower, um, due to basically an overdose. Well, now I would have to go down this long ass line of other things that I love to talk about. I love to like watch content on, but I know you guys probably don't give a damn. You guys know that I'm a 10 hatter. So when it comes to the whole little conspiracy theory thing, I be on that shit. I'm not even gonna go there. All I'm gonna say is now it's being discussed that possibly, oh, I forgot a part. Her husband also died the same way that she died, not too long after she died. So now it's being discussed in like conspiracy circles that two things. Possibly there was black mold in their home, and that's why they both ended up deceased in the same way, in the same shower. Um, and then there's also another theory that they owed a drug debt. So that's what happened to both of them. Now, that we're going to go back into the whole OJ Simpson thing. So, this is my belief. And there's other people who believe this too, but I believe this very strongly. I have done debates about this. Um, and I'm being serious. An open debate with multiple people in a forum where we were talking about different subjects, and this was one of them, the OJ Simpson acquittal. This was one of them. So, like I said, very strongly about this. I did the research I needed to do. So it is so easy to see that that situation was not what everybody was saying it was. Because it had racial undertones, it that took over everything. Remember, I did my few videos regarding the Carmelo Anthony situation. I call it a psyop. This is why I stay away from racial shit, because a lot of those situations are psyops, and I feel like the OJ Simpson situation was a psyop as well. Um, if you know, then his acquittal was done through means of showing that the LAPD had racial biasness and corruptive ways. Johnny Cochran and his other members of his defense team were able to, I guess, put out their reasonable doubt for the evidence that the prosecution had to show. They were able to put enough doubt on what the fuck they were saying to where he was acquitted. Okay? So even the jurors believed that the police was dirty. You know what I'm saying? So just hear me now. Hear me now when it comes to this. We all have, listen, if you know how he ended up in prison, then you know police be dirty. That's why fuck these motherfuckers out here. Okay? I just said this. This is proof of it. Now, throughout that whole trial, no one wanted to speak about the drug use. No one wanted to speak about that woman being a coked out demon. No one wanted to because she was deceased. That is disrespectful to the deceased. But even though, nobody wanted to rock the boat, the prosecution most definitely wasn't going to bring that up. The defense didn't want to bring it up because, like I said, that kind of looks negative on you by victim shaming. That looks negative. But we're gonna keep it real, okay? Saying stupid shit like OJ Simpson was so big and he's a football player and Ron, I don't even want to use their names, but the waiter was, you know, he was in shape. He kept in shape because he went to the gym and all this other stuff. He was trying to become an actor and all this other stuff. Like, oh, it was so like there should have been like more of a struggle because he was fit and all this other stuff. Why leave out the part that what I'm saying, he was stoned? Like, why leave out the part that him and OJ's wife were both stoned when this occurred? Why leave it out? Pay attention, everyone. It was left out on purpose. Now, the whole reason that they said that the incident happened is because OJ Simpson was jealous. Um, Someone had overheard him saying that if she was ever with another man, he would, turn her TV off, all this other shit. So here's my question. They were separated, but they were still married. So if he was really that jealous, why stay married? I was always confused by that. If he was really this jealous man that didn't want to see her with anybody else, why stay married? And why are you guys acting like that waiter was the first guy that she was with that wasn't her husband? So we're just gonna erase the whole part of why the waiter and her were even together. They weren't a couple. They were high. They were stoned. They were getting stoned. That man was supposed to be at work. That man basically took a lunch break and went up over there to get stoned and to sleep with her. So why are we leaving out that part? This woman was living in a condo. A condo's not a house. Contrary to these new buildings that they're building up, a condo is more like an apartment. It's not a house. So clearly the separation, she downgraded. Clearly. She clearly downgraded. So, is there a possibility that her funding was downgraded too? Hmm. Continue down the yellow brick road. So the funding was downgraded and she was used to a certain lifestyle that her husband provided her. When things like that happen, you can rack up a mean debt. At the end of the day, drugs cost money. So you guys know where I'm going with this, right? My people, my people, my people. Because shit has died down and because all you guys have ever heard is that he did it. After he was acquitted, he wrote a book. If I did it, this is how I would have done it, making fun of shit, just being a dumbass. But that still doesn't mean that he was guilty. You understand what I'm saying? So all of you guys have been caught up in the rapture. All of you, because there's no other person to point the finger at. You've all been caught up in the rapture that he did it. You understand what I'm saying? Good morning, Show Your Love podcast. Welcome to the show sector. I don't. I'm just. People just got lazy and was like, you know what? I'm not going to even use like logic with this one. I'm going to continue to think what everybody else thinks because it's so old and like there's other things going on. I don't want to talk about it. So everything else got swept under the rug. The fact that the woman was a drug user, the fact that when the crime happened, they were stoned, bro. They didn't say it like that because, like I said, you can't be disrespectful to the deceased. It looks bad when you're on trial to be talking like in a negative light about someone who was, taken off the map. But yes, indeed, they were stoned. They were stoned. One of the one of the pieces of evidence that the person that I was talking to, one of the people in the forum that we were talking to, said that had me giggling. I had a whole like giggle storm. Is that the person said that he said in his book, in the summertime, leather gloves shrink. Facts, sis. A lot of debt if you don't manage your finances, if you're smart enough to save your hard working money. And this was yours, right? But if you're married to someone that's somebody else's money, then you're not even thinking like that. You're like, fuck it, this is not my money. Just gimme, 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 gimme. When this person said that shit to me, I just looked and I was like, shit shrinks in the washer too. So is that your excuse? Like, did you see that man put that glove on in the courtroom? Where's the other glove? So the man did all of this stuff, right? And what he had a dodo moment. He had a dodo bird moment. He's just standing around like doing what? Because all this shit happened, like nothing was hidden or anything. So he just stood there for a minute, and then when the police was on their way, like because supposedly a neighbor called. Oh, he wasn't gonna stand there and wait for them. No, he decided to get in his truck and go on a high speed chase. Come on, bro. It's more likely that someone called him and told him, you got this amount of time to get here to save her life. You have this amount of time to pay me the money that's owed. Oops. Did I say that? You have this amount of time to do so, or else she's done. She's done. So he might have rushed over there because someone basically told him to. And when he got there, it was a whole scene of people being wiped off the map. So, of course, he hopped in his car to leave because I don't want to stay here with these bodies. Next thing you know, the police is right behind him. He's still driving because in his mind, he didn't do shit wrong. I mean, this shit is elementary. I'm sorry, but it is. For anyone who thinks that that man did that with his own hands, you are suffering. You're suffering from stupidity. I'm being honest. Just take everything one day. It doesn't have to be today. Just because I'm talking about it, because it was on my mind. Take one day to clear your mind of everything and just think for a second. Go back and I don't trust reading, but do that still. Take the logic that you know, what you remember, and then read on the case. even if you have to read about certain people involved in the case. Um, if you can find the material, read about the victims. I mean, you'll find things like there were 62 incidents of violence dealing with OJ and his wife, leading to a plethora of things. But it tells you that the majority of those things weren't physical violence. So why are y'all still married again? Why were y'all still married again? Another thing I spoke on was the anger I feel as a black woman when certain coonery folks love to say, "Oh, I'm not gonna date a black woman because she didn't use me for my money. She's a gold digger." But all of these situations literally are examples of women, you know what I'm saying, being gold diggers for purpose. Because this is what this situation clearly was. There were a lot of black athletes that got caught up in situations like this because they were dating outside of their race. But we never want to talk about those women being gold diggers. Oh no, we don't never want to say that. Um, Prime example. What's his last name? You know I be getting him mixed up with that other dude. Russell Wilson. That's his name, right? Because I get him mixed up with that other fairy. Anyway, but this is the reason why he divorced his wife and he married Sierra. This is the reason. His wife was white. He said it multiple times. Just being honest. He was uncomfortable. It was because he played baseball or whatever, and that was like the thing to do with all of his friends and people who are around him. But once he started playing football, he wanted to feel more comfortable, so that's what he did. I'm just being honest. Like, you know what I mean? You have to take all of this into consideration and then look at the shit with those refreshed eyes. Look at it in a different way. And let's see if you come up with what I have always known. You know, like I said, that situation, it happened when I was younger, when I was in middle school, and it just put a very nasty taste in my mouth. It stained me, it stained my brain. And I made a couple of decisions in my adult life based off of certain things like that happened to me, the experiences that I've had. And that's why I love having conversations about things like this. I love having healthy debates about things like this. Um, it's pretty clear to me that, like I said, that person was on drugs. We would never know because that person was a victim. So they're not going to victim shame her. And at that time, racial tensions were very high between Caucasian and black people. So they weren't gonna, you know what I'm saying? They weren't gonna do what they should have done, the due diligence. They weren't going to because he was black. We're just gonna be, and they hated it even more that a black man got him off. He had a whole team and only one person was black, but they focused on that black man. They focused on him. They focused on him. That shit was riddled with racism. And that's the reason why it happened. But that man was acquitted and with good reason. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's the truth. That situation happened because a drug debt was owed. Okay? A drug debt was owed. That woman did not have the money to pay that debt, but she wanted to continue to have the drugs. I'm sorry, but that woman was there, dude. There were so many beautiful, young, vibrant women out there with money too. That waiter guy, I ain't gonna talk about how nobody look, but that waiter guy, he chose her for a reason. It wasn't her looks, y'all. It was what she provided. If I'm on drugs, hell yeah, I'm finna fuck with the person that's got the drugs for free. Or I'm gonna fuck with a person that's got the drugs on a low. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's no fun when you're getting drunk or when you're getting high and you're by yourself. It's more fun when you have someone there with you. When you put all that together, you see it differently. And on top of that, it makes sense. We know that your husband is an NFL star, a Hall of Famer. We know he got bread. You owe us this amount of money. You have until this time to get it to us. I mean, can we be honest for a second? He didn't just pop up over there, y'all. He just popped up over there and saw. Keep in mind that the waiter, his TV was turned off outside, like in the front of the house, not too far away from the door. So this is the point that I'm making. Like, just think for a second. A call most definitely was made. A point of contact was definitely made. So what? We're gonna automatically think that they were talking to each other and arguing, and he heard a guy in the background, so he came over and was upset when he saw the guy, so he just turned everybody's TV off. Or maybe they contacted her and said that she had until this time to pay that drug debt, or else they were gonna be wiped off the map. So him maybe not believing her or whatever, he came over there to see what the hell was going on. And once he saw that everybody was, you know what I'm saying, gone, he tried to get the hell up out of there. I mean, use logic. Use logic. A lot of those situations that happen when it comes down to Hollywood, that's why it happens. Someone is on drugs and they can't. Do you understand? Like, it's like the rumor. Why is it so easy for other people? I'm bringing up shit I didn't want to bring up, but Michael Jordan, we know that his father passed. We're going to say that. So, why is it easy to put a conspiracy on him, a rumor on him, saying that his father was wiped off the map because he owed a gambling debt? Why was that easy? But yet, oh no, we don't want to say that OJ's wife was taken out because she owed a drug debt and he wasn't going to pay it for her. But he was so jealous. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like while we were having these conversations, it's going like this is going good. You know, nobody's ever getting upset or anything like that. But once I said that part, I was shocked that none of them had even heard that before. I'm like, are you serious? Okay, we need to get some reference points just so that you guys can feel comfortable with what I'm putting out there. So we got some reference points. And my associates were like, damn, I never thought of it like that. Yes, you should have. Why in the world would she be messing with a waiter? A waiter. She can go get her another football player. Why didn't she? Why a waiter? Because that was her drug buddy. Like after we were done talking, they were like, Where do you come up with this shit? Like every time we have a conversation with you, it's always something different. It's always something new that you come up with. I was like, you have to join the club, baby. Let me introduce you to the Tin Hatters Club. Okay? Life is better when you have crazy out there or spooky stories to add to it. No one's saying believe the shit. All I'm saying is that when you spice up your life and you watch crazy shit like that, you just automatically open up something in yourself. Like I said, no one says you have to believe it. Just uh, there's something else that I'm going to have a conversation about, but I can't do it right now because it's a very touchy subject. It's a medical situation, but it's a very touchy subject in my household. So I'm gonna leave that alone, and I'm gonna leave that for us to converse about. I can't even talk about it on my live because, like I said, I don't. It's a very touchy subject in here, but I just I have questions. Like there is a flick actress. That's how I'll say that. There is AKA flick actress who contracted um, an apartment in Delaware. Well, most of you probably heard in that other sector that they call an apartment in Dallas. I'm saying an apartment in Delaware. Anyway, y'all know what that is. And when she came out and told everybody that she had it at that point for 10 years. And she was frail, bony. The whole point of her coming out with it is because she didn't think she was going to make it. She thought, you know what I'm saying, that she was about to be wiped off the map. So this is why she came out and was speaking on it and brought awareness to it. Well, she lives out here in Las Vegas, and I found her channel and I was watching a few videos and I was like, she's looking a lot better. She's looking a lot healthier, and I just have questions, and that's the reason why I'm not talking about that situation within my household, or on this live, because if you know anything about me, you know that we lost someone due to that. And we just had so many questions. And even me, I have questions as a medical professional because we still don't understand that disease. And I just want to know, like, I understand the other disease because make no mistake, an apartment in Delaware and a house in Virginia are two separate diseases. They are not the same disease. They're not. You know how you have an illness or disease and it can mutate and turn into a different disease? That's basically what those two are. um, but they are different. So I the understanding when it comes to the other one, the house in Virginia, I get that. I'm there with that. But there's still a lot of things that I want to understand about the other one, about the apartment in Delaware, because there's a lot of things that are happening in medicine right now that are different. Um, you know, one of them, we have always been taught it was a death sentence. And it's kind of seeming like it's really not anymore. I really want to know what's really, I mean, like I said, she has a channel, so she talks about it. But what is really going on? Because yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. But it's yes. I ain't been back to work yet. So this is something that just happened yesterday. So like I said, when I get there, it's on. Okay? The conversations that we're gonna have when I get there, it's on. Because I have so much I want to put out there and I have so many questions, and That's not my specialty. And there's people who specialize in certain things. And these are the type of people that you should, talk to about certain things. So, I mean, like, it's going to happen. And it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. Is there any more? Oh my God. Is there any more? Yeah. It hurts. Okay. Is there any more over there? If you get up and you walk around, hold on, y'all. My apologies. So basically, that was it. Um, I'm not gonna make any promises. I have been super bombarded lately. Um, when I get home, I can't even sit down. You understand me? So I ain't gonna lie. Sis, I have it. It's ready to go. All I have to do is just light the match. We are going to play Family Feud. I'm not gonna make any promises to you and tell you that it's gonna be tonight, but I am going to listen. I'm going to do whatever I have to, besides maim and hurt somebody, to make sure that I do it, that I come back. It. My children have been keeping me super busy, the young ones and the older ones. I've been ran ragged. Do you understand me? Kevin has kept me super busy too. He's like a fucking baby. Um, Anything hurts on him, and it's like the world is over. So just crybaby type of shit. So y'all know I'm always talking shit about him, and he be right the fuck here, right? He be sitting right here. It's just so funny at this point. Just he's just sitting here, just like looking. Oh my God. So yes, I am. I'm not even waiting until like my normal time. I'm gonna try to do it earlier than my normal time, so that way it can really get done. Do you know how much content I actually have? I have tons because I made a promise. Remember, I was gonna go live every other day. I said that, but it's been so much shit going on, and like after having a whole day and coming home, you be tired, and my ass been going to sleep, and it's, I come in the house and I'm just like, okay, yeah, let's get the party started. And I lay down in the bed and I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I be trying to keep my eyes open and shit, and I can't. I've been taking little cat naps, and then I'll get up, and then guess what? I'll feel still like sleepy and shit. So I'll lay back down. Next thing you know, I'm fucking asleep, and it's the morning time, and I gotta fucking go to work. So I'm trying here. I'm trying. I'm really trying. Ooh, the lemon in that one is strong. Whenever you have time, sis, don't push yourself. No, I'm gonna push myself. I have to. You gonna push me out the window? Do you guys hear the threats? So if something happens, we all know who did it. We don't need a trial. We'll know who did it. Boy, if you ever even remotely tried to push me out of nothing, you better hope when I hit the ground, I die. Because if I fucking don't, your ass is in trouble. Anything on this planet that you decide to do to me, you better hope I'm gone when you do it. Because if I'm still alive, if I still live, I'm waiting until I get rehabilitated, and you're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. To be honest with you, you're the person that's gonna be fucked up, not me. With your uh, this hurt, that hurt, keep fucking around. I'm not gonna be here to push your wheelchair, push your ass in the motherfucking tub. So that is all that I have for today. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their Monday. It is Monday, right? No, stop lying. It's Monday. And like I said, hopefully I will be back later. I am going to push. I'm going to push. I'm going to push, okay? Just like how I pushed that one time when I did what? I did 2 or 3 lives that day. I wasn't even planning on that. Somebody fucking said some stupid ass shit to me on fucking IG. So I was like, yeah, let me go fucking live again because I know this person going to be fucking watching this shit. Like while I was live talking about this bitch, she's sending me motherfucking messages. I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking crazy. And then the person said some stupid ass shit that I was laughing at. I'm just leaving it alone. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Okay? Shit is starting to look real scary out here. For real. Keep your armor. Cause shit is looking crazy as fuck out here. People is doing weird shit. Like, is it in the water or the food or something? It's a lot of rereads. It's a lot of people becoming rereads, okay? And sis, I gotta catch you up on something that's going on in one of the sectors. It's right now it is 2 ridiculous storylines that are going on in that sector over there. And my trust in humanity is being played with right now. It's being played with. Sis, I have finally mastered the art of staying in the bushes. I promise you, I ain't dropped in so long. I have mastered the arts of staying. Oh, I'm lying. I think I dropped like day before yesterday. But it's only one place. But I have mastered the arts of minding my fucking business and staying in the bushes. I can't do it no more. It's, girl. I'm not even giving my opinion on that shit because shit is looking real crazy. It is people over there that have done some real jacked up stuff. They are guilty as sin of it. And today is a new day, and motherfuckers is acting like they didn't do certain shit. I have, that person that I was talking about to you that is like a stalking ass bitch. The one that I fucking said, it's so sick. Like, this person fucks with people in the chat on purpose, and it's always behind some shit like dealing with a nigga or something. It's just weird ass shit that this person does out of jealousy. Like, when I say this person will throw that jealousy word out towards everybody, but this person's behavior is man. This person's behavior is so weird. And I told you, ugly ass bitches that look like niggas, they do this shit all the time. This motherfucker, I seen this motherfucker fuck with 2 people this last 2 weeks for nothing. Nobody did anything. They just they gave their opinion or they laughed about something, and this ugly bitch was over there doing the same fucking shit that she always do. This is a sick ass hoe. This is a sick hoe over there. It's girl. Oh my god. It's a sick, twisted, demented asshole over there. For real though. It's motherfuckers that I used to like when I first came in that sector, and then it's motherfuckers that I most def don't like no more. Like this shit is fucking with me because when you are a certain kind of person in real life and then you get up on here and you try not to be that person on this app, well, you can't be that person on this app. You feel what I'm saying? And when you see certain shit like that, it just grinds your gears. Like, I don't like motherfuckers that act like that in real time. People that act like that, they get curb stomped. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Where I'm from, that's what happens to you. Like, that behavior does not get tolerated. And just to see that person doing that shit on this motherfucking app, it is very sick. You know, it's a whole person that I fucked with tough. I don't even fuck with no more because that person just chose to somewhat connect themselves to this bitch, and like it's uh I no, people who are weird hang out with weird people. People who SSI hang out with SSI people. Okay, they can spot them from a mile away. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. The sheep hang out with the sheep and the wolves hang out with the wolves. I'm telling you this shit. And when I saw that type of shit, I was like, oh, you a Riri. And I stopped fucking with that nigga. I'm just being honest. I don't like shit like that. If that's what you connect with, if you find yourself being close as fuck to that type of shit, please get the fuck away from me. I ain't got time for it. It's just, no, no. No, no. But yeah, I'll tell you later when I'm off this thing about what the hell I'm talking about right now. Because I'm not going to talk about it on this live. Just shit just irritates me for real, for real. And I have now learned to just watch. Just watch. So I will see you guys later. Bye.